was talking to my female friend and she hit me with this very thing that made me shake in my boots. She's like, I don't understand how many guys slide into my DMs and they always act weird or try to flirt. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where did this come from? And the context of this whole story is that we're actually talking about conversations and what to say via text and DMs and all that kind of thing. And her question to me was, but why would I want a guy to come to my DMs? And then I was like, okay, what do you mean? Then she hit me with that line. All the guys coming to my DMs just to flirt or weird. Now she caught me at acting weird. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, what do you mean by acting weird? Then she hits me with the screenshot. And this screenshot, I promise you gents, I didn't find the words for it, but it was kind of awkward. Why? Because he did what I used to do and made it even worse. I'm like, oh, flip. I used to do that too, and I used to think that was cool. And that's where the problems started coming in. And that's what I don't want you guys to be doing from this moment going forward. So the general conversation he had with her was not even a conversation. There was a bunch of random words, I would say, that basically, it tried to go somewhere, but it didn't go anywhere. Just random stuff. Like, hey, I see you still in the town. I see you still in the residence. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. How are you? I'm good too. Thanks for asking. Thanks. Nice. So, do you still have your nose ring? Yeah, I have my nose ring. Nice. Nice. And we went back and forth like that. And I'm like, ooh. That is awkward. That is real awkward. I want you guys to text like kings, people who have purpose. And that's why I'm releasing this whole series. It'll be about 5 videos or so. We'll see how long it takes. That covers the major parts of the texting phases you will find yourself in. The first one being, of course, how to open up the conversation. The next one will be more or less how to keep the conversation flowing. The third one will be escalation. The fourth one will be asking for the date. And the fifth one will be what to say after the date. I'm sure there are more things you can add in there somewhere, but we'll target those 5 for now. If you want more of that, subscribe and be notified for when those things actually come out. So we're gonna start off with the first one, which is basically opening up the conversation. Now, with every conversation, it doesn't matter if it's in person or via text, there will always be the time where you start talking to the person. Like, it goes without saying, right? People don't think they know that, but they don't know that. Whether you were talking to this person for a long time and then you start in conversation again, or whether it's the first ever time you're talking to them, you're always going to start the conversation. And many people flop at this point here. I used to flop at this point here. I used to send texts that look like this, for example. Not very appealing. Now I get texts that look something like this. Very, very, very appealing. And the simple change was understanding what phase of the conversation you're in and what to do in that phase. So there are a few kinds of ways you can open up a conversation when talking to a female or anybody in general, but I'm talking to my guys trying to talk to the person of interest. There are a few kinds of ways that you can open up the conversation when talking to a female. I won't talk about all of them here because this video will be way too long, like really, really, really long. But I left some resources in the description below. You can pick one of those up and then you upgrade your entire texting game. That much I promise you. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Story Spark Opener, as I call it. Story Spark Opener. What is the Story Spark Opener, Rafa? I am so glad you asked. The Story Spark Opener is basically opening up the conversation with reference to what you previously discussed. So unless of course you met her online via DMs or met her for the first time on Instagram, you like her profile and you want to start a conversation, I'll get to that a bit later. But for right now, I'm talking about when maybe you were at the mall or something and you walked up to her and now you're talking to her and you got her number, right? That first text you send after that conversation, that is your Story Spark Opener. What exactly were you talking about over there that you can now use as a reference to open up the conversation? Now, if you're talking to them for a long period of time already, you can again use the same kind of principle of what you're talking about in the last conversation that was interesting and you bring it back to the forefront just to reopen the conversation. An example of this can be this. Hey, quick question. Were you serious about the pineapple on pizza thing, or were you just trying to look for a fight? Something like that. You spoke of pineapple on pizza, and now this is now brought it back into the conversation somehow. Now for my true brazen warriors who found an Instagram profile and started to talk to her via the DMs, very brave. I did it one time, I was successful one time, and yeah, let's say things escalated. I will talk to that story another time. But for this video, if you're gonna be going down the Instagram DM route or anywhere where you can send a personalized DM to the person, then you cannot have a story-based opener that you had with them before, because technically you've never met them before, right? So what you do in this instance is pick something from her profile that was appealing or that is interesting. Then you can call back to that. For example, yo, I'm not gonna lie, but your take on this movie or this book or this concert or this kind of style has me questioning your taste. I'm giving you 5 minutes to defend yourself. That's playful, and you gotta get in there and get the thing done and sorted, right? One of those things where you definitely have to focus on what you're saying because you're making your first impression. And you gotta make that first impression count. That's just one of many ways you can open up a conversation. Like I said, there are many ways to open a conversation down in the description below. Pick that up, please. It will really help you, and it's completely free. I think you'll benefit a lot from it. You'll come back and thank me. Let's start there. So if you really like this video, like I said, there'll be a whole series coming through. If it's there, click on this video up here. If it's not that, then it'll probably be another video YouTube recommends you watch. Until then, you can subscribe to me right here. I'll see you in that video or playlist, whatever it is. Let's keep going, boys.